What is going on, everybody? It's Go-Karts, Mini Bikes, and more. And if you see in front of you, you might be wondering why you're looking at a piece of junk. Well, it's not a piece of junk, not exactly at least. um, it is actually my new yard cart. My brother has a friend who had this in his front yard just by his shed for years and years. And I told my brother that I wanted it since I basically gave his friend a torque converter belt for free, so I figured we could like sort of just trade it. But last time I saw it, it was complete. It had an axle and everything, but if you see from the motor plate, it wasn't for a horizontal shaft, it was for a vertical shaft. So I would have wound up taking out the axle anyways to put a live straight axle for a horizontal shafted engine. As you can see, it's not the cleanest. I don't know if this was a home-built go-kart or if it is actually from the factory. To me, it looks a little bit too well-made, I guess you could say, to be homemade, but then again, it also looks like parts from a bed frame or something. So, the story behind this is my brother, like I said, I told my brother about it, and then he told me he wanted it. We talked it out, and I thought I basically got it. But then I told him to ask his friend about it, and he kind of pulled the rug out from under me and asked his friend if he could have it. And he was screaming at me because he never had a go-kart, and I have two, and blah, blah, blah. So, I'm like, whatever, I'm not going to argue with him. And we go there, and it's basically half of a go-kart, and then he just stares at it and is like, it's kind of a piece of crap. So then we load it up, and we're driving home with it, and then he just goes, you can have it. I thought it was more complete. So that's how I ended up with it. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's home built or not, because I don't know, maybe you guys can let me know. To me, it does look a little bit home built, but like I said, I'm not sure. Like, there's no badge on it or anything. But the moral of this is just to get this running. Like, as much as I would love for it to have a nice pretty paint on it, which was my plan for my Manco, but we all see how that went. I painted that. I'm just gonna leave this a yard cart, just something to just beat on, really, just get it going. As you can see, it does need a few things. Like, I'm sure this would work, but I want to do it right. I'm gonna get a steering hoop, get that welded on, go to a hardware store, and get a longer steering shaft or just solid rod, and then just make my own steering tab and all of that junk, just to spend a lot less money. The biggest thing I'm gonna need is a live axle. So this isn't gonna happen overnight, unfortunately, but it will happen. As you can see, this go-kart would be a perfect candidate to have a sponsorship, but we all know I don't have enough subscribers for that. But maybe one day I could get sponsored by Go Power Sports. That'd be awesome. But again, this is just a yard cart, so I just wanted to show it to you guys before I started tearing it apart, just so you guys know what it looked like when I first got it. But if you look at here, it's like the scrub brake design like they had on the old go-kart. So I'm gonna guess that this isn't handmade and this is actually factory. But the good thing is this mounting plate isn't welded on. I was about to cut it off and everything to weld on like a 212 or Briggs & Stratton, whatever engine I choose, motor plate. But I flipped this over to see how rusty it was, and I noticed that this was held on with 4 bolts. So that's cool. I ain't got to do a whole lot of cutting. And if you see right here, it's a nice wide strip to hold 2 pillow blocks. I'm not going to weld on axle hangers or anything fancy. Just going to do pillow blocks because it's cheap. But it does need a few things like steering rods, steering shaft, pedals. This brake pedal is really cool though. Too bad it doesn't have the driver's side. But that's really cool. Needs a steering shaft, and I forgot to show you the best part about this is the steering wheel is just a taped C-clamp. But I mean, it worked. But the steering is a little bit seized up. That's not a problem. I could probably use these wheels for something, these wheels and tires. Maybe a rat rod build one day or something. But I don't know, they'll come in handy for sure. But I mean, it seems like a pretty rigid go-kart. There's not a whole lot of bracing, I'll be honest with you, but I think it'll be okay. If I really have to, I could always brace it myself, because I do plan on getting a welder by this summer. I know I said I was going to get a welder Friday, but my brother didn't want to spend the money, so I'm just going to get one myself this summer. But like I said, this would be an awesome project to get sponsored by, but just not enough views, not enough subscribers. So help me out, get more views, get more subscribers. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed. This should be a fun project, but like I said, it's not going to go anywhere anytime fast. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on Garage Amino at Go Karts, Mini Bikes, and more. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.